So uncertain times, of course, have thrived throughout the season, and the uncertainty over Chester City's future continues. They could be thrown out of the conference at a meeting coming up this Friday. Their former owner, Stephen Vaughan, told us yesterday that Group City Fans United were trying to destroy the club. This is what he had to say yesterday.
I couldn't care less what the CFU think. The CFU are a bunch of idiots who are hell-bent on destroying this club. When you're making meetings in bingo halls, do you need taken seriously?
So what would your message to them be, Stephen?
My message to the CFU, if you want a club, you get behind it. You know, they want a club for their own ends. This CFU's only been formed in the last 4 months. They have got no credibility whatsoever. If they want credibility, get behind the new owners of this football club when they take over.
Well, here to respond to those comments is the CFU spokesman, Jeff Banks. Jeff, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. So
this then is your right of reply. What do you have to say to what Stephen Vaughan had to say to us yesterday?
Well, I mean, the first thing I would say, we're at our lowest point in 125 years history. The club cannot pay for a coach to get to away games. They haven't paid the players for more than 1 week's wage in the last 3.5 months. Mr. Vaughan, who shouldn't be having anything to do with the football club, is selling the club to a representative from an organisation that has no formal constitution as yet. He's also insulted 900 Chester fans, yet asked them to back the club. However, we're labelled as a bunch of idiots. That's all I'm going to say.
And I understand that you and a number of fans are going to be voting with your feet at the next fixture?
That's correct, yes. For one game that has been played recently, there has been an official boycott in place, which has seen up to 1,000 fans actually staying away from the Beaver Stadium.
Now, there has been a meeting of the City Fans United in the last couple of days, I believe. Just describe the mood of that meeting and what plans you were putting forward.
The mood of the meeting was actually very positive, and it's worth noting that we actually had more people at the meeting that actually went through the turnstiles at the Beaver Stadium in the last home game. But the meeting was extremely positive. We had members from the local council and also the MP for the City of Chester as well. And they are fully behind what we're trying to do. Because they're actually owed rent and hasn't been paid. And obviously the taxpayers of Chester, are calling into question why the Vaughans are actually still in charge at the Beaver Stadium.
And Jeff, just for those people who don't know, just explain what the CFU are trying to do. What are your plans in terms of moving Chester and their football club ahead?
Well, the way we've been looking at it for the past few months, there was always two plans. The first was to try and save the club, but with the level of debt currently nearing £750,000, we also had to look at a separate plan, which was to form a Phoenix club, which would hopefully start playing football by next August inside Chester's ground. So that's actually what we're pushing forward right now. We've got the overwhelming support of all the football authorities and also our CFU members, which right now stands at an amazing 900 fans.
Have you got the support of the council, though? Because Stephen Vaughan seemed to be suggesting in the clip we played just a moment ago that no one's really taking your plan seriously, but from what you're saying, some are.
Absolutely. I mean, as I said, at the meeting last week, we actually attracted the people that we need to speak to. They understand the situation and are willing to work with us to try and, create a positive and community-led football club rather than the one we've got at the moment, which is just heading in one direction with a massive amount of debt behind it.
So when the football conference meets once again this Friday to discuss the club's future, what do you expect to be the outcome of that meeting?
Well, that's a tough one. The football clubs in the conference, all I'd say to those clubs is think about the integrity of the competition. I'm sure many of those clubs will be thinking they'll be deducted points that they've taken off Chester City. However, the counter-argument to that is if the club is allowed to carry on in its current form, it's likely that the fixtures will not be able to be fulfilled. And there's pretty much just going to be organised chaos, which will ensure the conference season will just end in complete disaster.
So you believe in the long term, then, that Chester City, as we know it now, will cease to exist, but a new club will rise from the ashes, so to speak?
Yeah, I mean, at the moment, we've been told that the club have agreed a deal with this Danish consortium. However, we don't think there's too much behind that consortium, and that's why we're continuing to plan for the future football in Chester, which we believe, should be a community project and certainly one which we're continuing to plan.
Jeff, thanks for your time.
Thank you.